So in today's episode of Pointless and Irrelevant Internet Beefs, today we are discussing Ryan Clark and Robert Griffin III, two individuals who used to work with each other at ESPN. Now, if you don't know much about sports, that's fine, because today we're talking about race, something that we can always relate to, right? So don't worry, this is going to be something that can hit home for anybody. It will all get there at some point in time, but nothing that really should be triggering. Honestly, I think most of this stuff is kind of funny. They both work for ESPN, where obviously, RG3, Robert Griffin III, he was let go, and now he's pursuing a career basically like me out here on YouTube. Now he's out here fighting for views just like the rest of us. Well, Ryan Clark definitely has a nice pension plan set up for him over at Disney. Now, the difference between them two as players is that Robert Griffin III, his career kind of crashed out, but he was Rookie of the Year. And he was a really talented football player until he basically got killed on the football field when he decided that he was literally going to try to run through a brick wall. And then Ryan Clark, well, he was in the Hall of Very Good, the Hall of the Big Heart. That's what he was as a football player. He fought hard. He's not a big guy, and he hit like he was huge. So Ryan Clark was a good player. I'm not going to hate on him when it comes to that. And he makes some really good points on ESPN. But his big thing is obviously pandering to black women, which is fine. That is cool. Go ahead. I don't mind doing the pandering. And it's not even just necessarily pandering if you're making good points, which in a lot of his messaging, I really do feel like he makes outstanding points when it talks about, the hypocrisies when it comes to how blacks are treated and stuff like that. But I do feel like he's kind of gotten to the point now where it's like, oh my God, everything you talk about has something to do with race. And I mean, can we please steer away from all you are race baiting at this point, Ryan. We see it, and it hurts to see it. You already know the direction of your talking points just based on this. It doesn't matter what segment it is. You're going to find a way to turn it towards something that is racially motivated. And it's like, we didn't have to bring that up. I know somebody had Kool-Aid on the table, but it wasn't because they were just doing it because there was a black man here. They actually drank Kool-Aid growing up, and they were white. I know it's not that many households you may know, but it does happen from time to time. Now, not everybody does it to be offensive. Now, it depends. In some office settings, you might need to check somebody because they definitely did it to try to, slide a joke in there, and it wasn't funny. Now, Robert Griffin III is also an individual who, has worked very hard at this. And he is now being criticized for his comments on Angel Reese, saying that she hates Caitlin Clark. And that's where the race part comes in with Ryan, because Ryan was very upset at the fact that, RG3 said such a thing. How could you say that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark? Well, RG3, he was an athlete too. Like I said, they both played in the NFL. He was reading it off of body language when it came to the whole, thing I showed you the other day, when it came to the whole foul that wasn't really meant to be. It was like, dang, we really gonna call this a flagrant foul? I mean, I've seen harder fouls. Why did it look like you got shot with a shotgun when she just hit across the basketball? I mean, it looked like there was some theatrics there. And also you added some theatrics afterwards when you wanted to act like you wanted to scrap. When last year somebody literally tried to chokeslam you on the court. I'm pretty sure it was Alyssa Thomas. You wanted none of that smoke. Caitlin Clark pretty much almost gets the ball clean, and you're ready to go ahead and decapitate this chick. I feel like there was such hypocrisies in the response. That's what some people can see that maybe others were ignoring. So Ryan just looks for this as a moment to be like, oh, you're siding with Caitlin Clark. I know why you're siding with Caitlin Clark. I worked with you, RG3, and you kept having all these weird references towards milk this, milk that. We get it, brother. You like milk. Now, honestly, RG3 made a lot of references towards my tall glass of milk, my warm glass of milk before I go to bed. It was like, ooh, my milk. It's like, I don't know. He did take it a tad bit too far. It's like, okay, RG3, are you okay, homie? Do you need help? What kind of fetish is this? It almost feels like you're worse off than the guy who went viral for wanting to stiff arm his son so he can get the titty milk from his baby mama. I mean, it was wild stuff. We get it. We know milk is important, but chill. One more thing about the milk. Why do I feel like Robert told this joke about the milk at work a lot? I feel like when Ryan Clark says this, he really feels it every time he says it. Dude, it was every day. It was every day he came in. He kept talking about, you see, milk, milk, get it? You get it? And it's like, God dang it, I get it. Please stop. We get it. You like milk. You like white women. Dude, just chill. Okay, man. Damn. I also feel like you have to understand RG3 is kind of a clown. He's a goober, you know what I mean? He's one of those dudes who likes to tell jokes. He's really smart, so he has really great analogies, but sometimes he tells some of the corniest jokes, and it's like, dude, that joke just ain't hitting. Will you please stop telling it? Like, you keep trying to emphasize it. Like, then he gets to the point probably where he starts trying to explain it, like why it's funny. He's like, no, it's just not funny, Robert. Just stop telling that shit. And I think that's what he be doing. Like, I think he just wore out that milk line way too many times. So RG3 was obviously basing Angel Reese's rage or her upsettedness of the situation at the fact that, you know what, it feels like that reaction might have been a little bit over the top, and it feels like you only had that smoke towards this player. And maybe her anger isn't even towards Caitlin Clark. Maybe it's towards the fans, because her fans are really the issue. And you don't choose your fans. You know what I'm saying? Like, you do know what kind of like content you're putting out there if you're like a content creator, and you do know what kind of audience that can, you know, attract. So my God, I was going dead there. But Caitlin Clark, just because she played at Iowa doesn't mean she wants to have racist fans in her comment section. That just happens to be who buys her merch. That just happens to be who supports her. Is it her fault? No. Can she help it? No. Does she want them? I don't know. I have no idea. I doubt it. She's never really said that she supports any of that. So, I mean, all I've heard is that she doesn't she condemns that kind of rhetoric. I haven't seen her just, you know, preach to the heavens about it, but do I need to? No. I saw her make a statement of like last season about, I don't like the stuff that happens. I don't need to hear her talk about it each and every time she gets in front of a camera. It would get old. It would feel like at a point like, okay, we get it. Now you just have white guilt, and now that's annoying. You know what I'm saying? Everything becomes annoying when you do it too much. So Caitlin was like, I guess statement should be enough here. I saw like the two videos that RG3 put out and also Ryan Clark put out. I saw them in different orders. I actually saw RG3's first. And when I saw the way he delivered his message, I was sitting here thinking, dear God, what could Ryan have said that really crossed the line to this degree? The way he was just in front of the camera. Like, brother, you don't have to come at me like that. It's one thing to talk about me, talk about a man. It's another thing to talk about his wife and his children. You don't do that. You cross the line. I was starting to think that Ryan Clark had somehow wished death amongst these kids, that he was hoping that somehow the car would explode on the way to school and kill the wife and kids. But I'm like, that's apparently not what happened, because I watched the clip and all he said was that you apparently have a strong affinity towards the white side. Like, that's obviously what you're going to cape for. And then he was also saying that how could you have these conversations with your mixed children at home about the plight of the black woman? And at a point, I'm also starting to think like, Ryan, like, tell me who's sitting around having these conversations at dinner? People barely have dinner together as is. Most families, you just eat the food somewhere in the house in the same area. You don't sit down at dinner table all the time. If you do, that's a luxury. That's a privilege. Not all families get that. But I don't know of any families that's sitting around saying, you know what we need to talk about tonight? We need to talk about the plight against black women in America. I don't see that happening at dinner. It definitely didn't happen at my house. I just saying, like, they weren't talking about, son, I'm telling you, when you're engaged with a confrontation with the police, you need to behave yourself. My dad never had this conversation. We didn't talk about this. We didn't talk about the birds and the bees and just sit down and be like, we really need to discuss this. Now, we probably should have talked about a couple of things, but we didn't. It was okay. It was okay. We made it. So the fact that, you know, Ryan Clark is even pointing this out feels irrelevant. It's like his kids are still black. Are you just now dismissing that? Because everybody comes to find out, because I guarantee you, most people who are now finding out that Ryan Clark, the panderer, the panda bear, is the guy who also has a mixed race child, also has a young child in his life that was conceived by a white woman. That's right. He has one, and it's just fine. It is perfectly okay. And it doesn't mean the fact that he's actually been catering towards black women this entire time a problem. It doesn't even make him a hypocrite. It just means don't ignore that. Don't sit here and say this crap about RG3 and you got this sitting at the house. Now, I had to personally think about this analogy backwards because I couldn't think of it the front way, because normally I would turn my jokes and stuff towards race to make it a little bit more funny. This is like preaching to people about how bad cigarettes are and how you've never smoked. You were born again. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never picked up that habit because you saw your parents do it growing up and that was just something that you could never rock with. You're preaching to people all day long, saying and condemning folks for being like, man, I don't know how you can smoke. How could you do such a thing? It's so bad for you. It's nasty. It makes everything stink and smell. It blackens your lungs. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it does to you. How could you do such a thing? And when that same person you're preaching to is walking out in the parking lot and they see a pack of Marlboros and a lighter in your dashboard. That's what that feels like when it comes to Ryan Clark in this situation. Just, come on. It's a little bit much. And I get it. RG3 has been called a cornball brother by, Rob Parker. He's been called all sorts of corny names, coon, whatever. And he does come off as, one of those brothers. And we all know one of those brothers. Like, there's plenty of, guys out there with black men. We know, like, they're like, I only date white women. It's like, okay, relax, homie. I get it. I get that's your preference. I don't know why. I mean, considering, you do have black women at the house, and I know this makes a lot of brothers upset when they say, I am not personally trying to date my mother or my sister when that argument comes about. Because yes, black women do often say, well, do you hate your mama? Do you hate your sister? Well, the thing is, it's not about that, homie. It's just saying that, you know what? Didn't you grow up around a few blacks? Did you not seem to be around black shit? Did you not find, one black woman attractive in your life? Were they all just crash outs? Were they all so negative to the point where you're like, you know what? I cannot do it at all. I'm sorry. Swear off the sisters. I had to swear it off. I can't do it. How do you get to that point? Did you not watch black movies growing up? That's the part that becomes confusing, where, black dudes just get to the point they're not attracted to black women at all. And it's like, homie, that's the part that throws me off. Like, somebody can put prime Halle Berry in front of you and you'll be like, I don't know. I might be hesitant. And then instead they will throw that chick who looks like Kevin James from The Last of Us and you'll be like, I'm ready to clap. And I don't understand. I'm ready to slap you instead, because that doesn't make any freaking sense. It means you worship the white chicks at that point. It means you take it as a novelty. It is something that's better. It is the panacea. It is not. It is not. Now, I'm not trying to be a hypocrite today because I've dabbled in snow and I've liked plenty of snow bunnies, but I also like black women too. I've dated plenty of them. The most recent dating history has been black women. So, I mean, listen, and my best friend was over here shocked. He's like, wait, what? What? I thought you only like white girls. I was like, dude, man, never mind. There's no point of even explaining this. There's no point. It happened. Had that conversation a couple days ago. It was really funny, actually. But I mean, that is a thing. People always looking at light-skinned brothers, the yellow boys, and act like we don't like chocolate. I love chocolate. Now, people are going to be like, well, you got to take a side. No, I don't. That's what makes you stupid as people stupid. You dumbasses that be in the comments being like, you need to pick a side on what? For what? Why do I need to stand on the side of stupid on all sides? No. Sometimes what you're fighting against doesn't make a lick of sense. It's like those people out there caping up for Diddy. Like, dude, I'm sorry. I already said it in my other video about him. He don't care about you. He don't care. And a lot of these people y'all be trying to cape up for you don't care about you. Now, the difference is I do feel like Ryan Clark does care about black women and black people and our issues. I also feel like he does at a point now. It's just starting to race bait, and it's starting to become irritating. It is irritating. So RG3 does come off as one of those brothers, but I don't think he's one of those. So like, most of them you speak to, you do notice that they do all talk very similar, right? They all feel like they definitely been changed. It's like, you know what? It's not because you're speaking intelligent. It's not because you're educated. It's because you aren't what you used to be. You have lost sight of the person you were before, bro. Like you don't have to wear the jorts forever. You don't have to wear the Iverson jersey out in public anymore. But I'm telling you, you aren't necessarily this guy I see in this polo. Not saying anything against polo, but are you this guy? Because the thing is, the people that they compare RG3 to, those are the brothers who are the only black people in their friendship group. Like, they are the only ones they associate with. They don't see other black people. They don't. They barely see their family. That's what I don't agree with RG3. This man is too intelligent to not understand those plays that Ryan Clark be talking about. It's not that he don't get it. He just don't always pander to it or cater to it because he just doesn't see why. He just doesn't see why. At least I don't see it. But RG3 does come off as one of those guys that for whatever reason though, like if you work with him, everybody hates Robert at the office. Everybody's like, God, I can't stand that guy. And every day he comes in with enthusiasm. It's like, hi guys, how's it going? Hope you're having a great morning. And he walks off, grabs a bagel and heads on about his business. And everybody's like, damn, I can't stand that guy. I can't stand him. And they can't even come up with a good reason why. They just like, I don't like him. I don't. He's never given me a good reason to hate him, but I just can't stand him. Something about all that positive energy, that toxic positivity that people be talking about, which I don't understand how that's a thing. How can somebody be too positive? It can get annoying, yes. But too much positivity, that if you want negativity in your life, you're a crash out. I'm sorry, you are destined to die alone. And that's cool if you just want to live that way. I know plenty of y'all gonna be down there like, I'm good with it. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not. We all want somebody to be cool with. We all want friends, somebody to love us. It don't have to be hundreds, but we all want somebody in our life. Man, woman, beast, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? We all want something there. You know the kind of black people I'm talking about, right? They're the ones who get in their white circles and they get called Oreo and they don't say anything about it. They laugh at the joke. That's right. And it's like, no, bro, you need to stand up for yourself. Let them know that there are boundaries. There are lines that don't get crossed. Trust me, I have been token a lot in my life, and there are just boundaries that they know that, well, we don't need to cross that. We don't need to go there. Why would we ruin this great friendship that we have by saying unnecessary jokes that really wouldn't be funny? Like, I might kind of laugh, but it's not going to be funny. You have to make white people question that shit. If you don't, they will walk all over you. They'll call you all sorts of different names. They'll be like, don't worry, he's one of the good ones. Just like Myron's going around being nowadays. Like, they'll be like, he's cooperative. He's one of us. I mean, maybe that's what some of these, look, some of these brothers, they want that. They want that white acceptance. And dude, look, it's good to be accepted amongst white people, but don't just completely disassociate yourself with your own people in the same notion. Like, dude, I believe it's important to get along with everyone that you possibly can, because you never know what can spawn from that. You never know what opportunities can come in life if you don't talk to people, if you don't engage in folks, if you stay so jaded that you just are like, no, I don't talk to them because they're not from where I'm from. Why? That sounds stupid. Or they ain't from where I'm from, or I don't believe in that. Okay, sure, whatever, man. You think people be just collaborating all the time, believing in always agreeing on all the same shit all the time? No. People who think they have to have only yes men around them, yet they're not successful, I don't understand those people. Now, there are people out there that love to have yes men around them, but if they're successful, I get it. Derek Jeter said he only wanted to have yes men around him. If you don't know who Derek Jeter is, he's one of the all-time greatest baseball players, highly successful individual, and he has herpes. But he's a person who has always been successful because he said he needed positive people around him. He needed people to, affirm him, make him feel good about himself at all times, even if he was struggling just a little bit. He needed people to pull him out of that hole. Most people need to be challenged. Most people need somebody to disagree with them. But people like Ryan Clark sometimes don't like when you disagree with them, at least in the way that they want you to. If you stand on the opposite side of the fence, it's like, whoa, you are the enemy. No, let's have a conversation, which that almost feels, disingenuous to say, because he does have, conversations on his podcast, but he will be quick to call people like Dave Portnoy, a guy who will go out there and talk to somebody like Shannon Sharp, which I guess Shannon Sharp is one of those. He was whitewashed, you know what I'm saying? He ain't one of us no more. He's out there smashing 20-year-old white girls. Whatever you want to believe, because they have differing opinions. He said we should be allowed to hate Angel Reese, talking about Dave Portnoy, white man. Is he wrong for saying that? No, he's not. Is it kind of effed up? It is kind of effed up to say. But that means black people should have the right to hate Caitlin Clark. They should. Now, why all y'all would have these reasons to hate each other, I have no idea. Like, why people would choose to hate Angel Reese, I don't get it. Unless she just attacked you on social media or something like that. I don't know where the hate's coming from. So, like, black people hating on Caitlin Clark. She's just a white girl, guys. I'm sorry. She can't help her fans are racist. She can't. It's a bad fan base to develop. It's like, what do you do though? Like, what do you do if you're like, I don't It's like if you go and you have this big speech right at your hometown, and you know you're happy, you see all your family and your loved ones and your friends, and you actually have some of your black friends there, and then you see in that back corner over there, and she's like, boy, I really hope they can just quiet down while I'm trying to give this thank you all speech, because I mean, damn, why do they have hoods? You know, I feel like that's what's happening with Caitlin Clark. She doesn't stand for this. It's unfortunate because once again, this all spawns from just stuff that, I mean, I just find it funny. I find it funny because it's all spawning from some rivalry that shouldn't even exist between two basketball players that don't even play similar styles of basketball. Oh, they don't. They don't. I never even said how I feel about the situation, which is, I don't really care. I like both players. I don't think Angel Reese is anywhere near as good as the other one. I mean, that's just what I feel. I mean, Angel Reese is a good basketball player, but I mean, hell, people overblow the fact that, you know, they say, well, Angel Reese is only getting all these rebounds because she's missing all of her layups. Dude, I don't want to hear that take from people I know that don't watch women's basketball. She gets look at the stats. Now, if it says she had 12 offensive rebounds, then I know where they came from. But if she had 19 rebounds and only 4 of them were offensive, then I think she was mostly bodying up chicks out there on the court. So I don't want to hear that shit. Some games she does clean up the offensive glass because she do be missing some bunnies sometimes. That is a real thing. She can't jump over a phone book. I mean, it is one of those. She does have like those. Like, she's one of the girls who just can't jump. I mean, it's just kind of funny to watch them trying to get off the ground and just like nothing happens. It's sort of like watching my boy Zebo, who used to play for the Grizzlies. Like, these guys just can't get off the ground. They give it their all and nothing happens. Woo! But boy, this was really starting to get off the rails. I mean, I was really just talking about the whole Angel Reese, you know, Caitlin Clark thing. And it went to Ryan Clark and RGIII. And anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I just had to talk about this. There's probably more thoughts. I just hadn't thought about it. See you soon.